I do not own the rights to this music. Hello, and welcome to Sunday School Summary with Brother Ron. Sunday School lesson for Sunday, December the 29th, 2024. Our reference material for the Sunday School Summary is based upon the International Sunday School Lesson Series as published by the Sunday School Publishing Board. We are discussing A King Forever and Ever as the title of the Winter 2024-25 lesson series, and it connects the biblical teachings of God's rule through the line of David to Jesus as the earthly manifestation of God's divine rule of his kingdom. The King Forever and Ever lesson series is categorized into 3 units or groups of lessons, and we are in Unit 1, and we are discussing Jesus, the heir of David. The title of our 5th lesson in the Unit 1 lesson series is titled A Cry for Help. And of course, we are talking about the cry of the blind beggar. The key verse comes from Luke chapter 18, verse 39, and it reads, "Those who led the way rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more, 'Son of David, have mercy on me.'" So he is recognizing Jesus as the Messiah and with the healing powers of the Lord. The title of today's lesson, A Cry for Help, from the book of Luke, and we know that Luke was a disciple apostle of Christ and a physician by training. And Luke researched and recorded the main events in Jesus' life from his birth, earthly ministry, teaching, death, and resurrection. Now, in the lead up to today's lesson, Jesus' birth has fulfilled the prophecy of the Savior or Messiah for the Jewish people. Jesus is now fulfilling the prophecy by ministering and teaching along the way. And Jesus' reputation preceded him, and he attracted large crowds of people on his tour as he traveled the Gentile region of Judea and across the Jordan River on his way to Jerusalem for the Passover. Jesus' trip to Jerusalem was by way of a town called Jericho, where Joshua fought the famous battle, which brings us to today's lesson. There are 2 summary lesson points for today: a desperate plea, and that's from Luke chapter 18, verses 35 through 39, and a divine response from Luke chapter 18, verses 40 through 43. The passages for the lesson today revolve around the keywords of faith, wisdom, compassion, and Messiah. And we know that faith is the complete trust, assurance, belief, or confidence in God. And it is the faith of the blind man in Jesus as the Messiah in today's lesson. Wisdom is the ability to apply experience, knowledge, and understanding to produce good judgment. It is the wisdom of the blind man to find out what the commotion was about leading up to Jesus' travels in today's lesson. Compassion is a feeling or concern for others that motivates people to help relieve their suffering. And Jesus shows compassion to the blind man by healing him in today's lesson. Messiah is a Hebrew word that means the anointed one, and God promised the Jewish people that a Messiah would come to rescue them. The blind man acknowledges Jesus as the Messiah in today's lesson. Our first summary point is a desperate plea, and that's from Luke chapter 18, verses 35 through 39. And these passages, Luke records Jesus' healing of the blind man. And it goes on to say that when Jesus was nearing the town of Jericho, a blind man was sitting by the side of the road, and he was asking people for money. He was begging. Then he heard a large crowd of people as they went along the road. So he asked the people near him what was happening. Because the buzz of the crowd, he knew something extraordinary was happening. And they told him that Jesus from Nazareth was walking past. And the man began to shout out, "Jesus, Son of David, please be kind to me and help me." And the people who were with him at the front of the crowd were angry with him, and they told him that he should be quiet. But he started to shout even louder, "Son of David, please help me." So he recognized that who could provide him with help or assistance. And he was persistent because he had faith that Jesus could alleviate his issue. A divine response is our second summary point, and that's from Luke chapter 18, verses 40 through 43. In these passages, Luke continues his story. He says that Jesus stopped and he said to the people, "Bring that man to me." And when the man came near, Jesus asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" "Sir," the blind man replied, "I want to see again." And Jesus said to him, "See again. You are well now because you believed in me." So Jesus is telling the man that his faith has made him see again because he has faith in Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. And he goes on to say in summary that the man immediately could see again, and he started to follow Jesus along the road, and he was praising God, and many people who had witnessed this, they also praised God for his miracles that he had worked through Jesus Christ. This is Brother Ron with the Sunday School Summary for Sunday, December the 29th, 2024. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed week, and we hope to see you next Sunday and next year for another edition of Sunday School Summary with Brother Ron. Happy New Year.